Thokozani bogogo, thokozani bomkhulu, thokozani tindlondlo letinhle sitindawo kini nonke emakhaya, and from wherever it is that you are actually joining us, siyabonga kakhulu. Today's guest teacher is Mkhulu Ben Silindza, and we're going to be discussing the iNzuza spirit, so that we actually have an academic knowledge of what happens of the spirits and African spirituality in the side of Africa. It also is good for people who are actually finding that they actually have ubizo, to know the spirits that they are dealing with, and so that it helps also to understand the symptoms of ubizo lunado when as umuntu. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Ngiyathokozisa nonke emakhaya, ngithokozisa bogogo, ngithokozisa bomkhulu tindlondlo nonke. Ngithi thokozani ndawuwe shewe emakhaya. Ndawuwe hayi siyabonga kakhulu kinonke nje enzaweni tonke. Sitokhuluma ngalo moya njoba as I've spoken before, we tried to make the difference between iponga and the spirit that possesses people or that lives within the people who eventually go and become isangoma or inyanga. So today, as we are speaking of one of the spirits that is also more important among our people, we are speaking about iNzuza. iNzuza, it's commonly known as a water spirit, a spirit that controls the water, the sea, the oceans, and all the like, you see. So, and some people, they will say it's a umdawe wasemanzini, though iNzuza it's a bit different than umdawe wasemanzini. You see, as we have mentioned, that all the spirits that we normally talk about, they come from a nation. They come from a nation, in fact. As they've mentioned when they talk about Abandawe, that spirit goes with the nation of Abandawe. And they have mentioned in several of my writings that each and every spirit will have its own people, will have its own language, and it will have its own roots or impande. Those are the main characteristics of each and every spirit, that the spirit has got its own people, the spirit has got its own language, and the spirit has got its own way of doing it, and they have got also impande specifically for that spirit. You see, that's why when a person goes to a pehlweni, it becomes very imperative that the person will eat the right according to the people of that culture. So it's same with the iNzuza. iNzuza also has got its people. You know, one thing that it's a bit strange, especially when we're talking about iNzuza, is that the people of iNzuza are unlike all the other people that we know. Because we know that when you're talking about Abandawe, we definitely know that we will find them maybe in Zimbabwe, Mozambique, mostly part of Swaziland, but we know that their stronghold, it's concentrated mostly in Mozambique. But now when you come to the people of iNzuza, who are normally found and they live under the water, you see, which is something different. You know, it's something that sometimes it's like a fairy tale story when you are telling people that there are people who are living under the water. To most of the people, it's like, hey, this person has started now with some fairy tale stories. He says, telling us stories. You see, but the reality of those people is that they are the very same people that stays under the water. When a person he will be initiated under the water, those are the very same people that used to initiate When a person goes under the water, will go under the water and come into a plain land. And into that plain land, we'll find the people of iNzuza. And those are the people that will initiate that person. That person will be initiated by those people of iNzuza. And they are the one that will initiate. Those people have got their own language, their own roots, and where probably most of the roots they use will be found inside the oceans, will be found inside the river, inside the dams. That's why even when you make lipudlo for such, most of the trees that you used for making lipudlo for iNzuza are trees that are from the water, the trees that grows inside the water. You know, there are trees that can stand to grow inside the water. And most of those trees are the very same trees that are normally used for people with iNzuza. You see, that's why sometimes they will even use litaga and when they are doing their things, because they are the people which normally stays under the water. And those are the people of iNzuza. And at the same time, when you're talking of iNzuza, we are talking because it is also involved when you're talking about iNzuza. And that snake is the one that is also highly involved when it comes to those people's calling, when those people are called to have that spirit. They must have a connection with the snake. They must have a certain connection, you see. And it's the very same one that will attract people and draw them to the river, so that when they go to the river, then they are taken. And then when they are taken there, they go there for initiation until they come back with having killed even a certain snake. Then they come back to finalize their own initiation there. So there are people of iNzuza who are staying under the water, but we do have some of them who have integrated among us, and that has resulted that we have the spirit because we have integrated with some of them. Fortunately, on my side, one of my great-grandfather married one of the people of iNzuza. She got one of the women, and then who was iNzuza, who was also staying under the water, and they got married, you see. So, and that is the knowledge I also got from that, because about the iNzuza people, what's happening about them. So, and they are the people who used to, they are normally short in height, as shorter than like Batwa, you see. They shorter like Batwa, you see. They speak a language that is close to Nguni, but not as close to Nguni as such. But they've got their way of speaking, you see. Some people, they could even say, hey, laban bakhuluma njengabotikoloshi, like the way they speak, you see. The way they are tone, you see, there's so many things people they could say about them. Because when you talk about iNzuza, you talk about one of the mysterious and the most misunderstood spirit. And one of the spirits that we have got a very big challenge when it comes to it. You know, I normally say, even in one of my writing, I mentioned that, you know, when they say a person has got a spirit of iNzuza, I feel pity for that person, to be honest. You know, my heart becomes sore because I know that that person, there's more trouble, because to find the right place for initiation, it's gonna be a very big challenge, you see. And now in my work, each and every day, I met several people who, like, they've been robbed, you see, and they say they are being initiated for iNzuza. They paid a lot of money, and then when the person now has done everything, we come Guhlola, you find that the person they have done nothing at all, and iNzuza still hasn't been touched. You see, I think even yesterday we had one, and that person has spent 80,000 initiating for iNzuza, but the iNzuza there in Mdawe has not been touched at all. They only did Umguni, and it was done very well, but when it comes to iNzuza, it was not done properly at all. So, but the people of iNzuza were supposed to be initiated under the water. And as they were supposed to initiated under the water, that's why most of them, when they've got iNzuza, they feel like they can go. They feel like they can go, even without knowing that some they can even hear voices like something is calling them, because it's the calling that wants to take them away. And as people with iNzuza, it's difficult that the spirit could show them where will they be initiated, because they are supposed to be initiated under the water. So if the spirit has to show them a place, it must show them under the water where they must be initiated. And such people, that's why some they feel like they can run. They can just run. During the night, they just wake up at a certain time, and then they just wake up just in the middle of the night, and they feel that like they can go somewhere. It's because of the calling that is calling them, because these are the people who are supposed to go and be initiated under the water by the people of iNzuza. But now, with the circumstance that we have these days, some people, most of the people who are taken for initiation by iNzuza, they don't come back. We find that someone was taken in the river and disappeared, was never found, because they will go there for initiation, but because of our circumstances that happened now, because we come to families that have been so much indoctrinated that we don't know even the rituals that are supposed to be done when the person is taken. We don't know anything, and you find that maybe your family is a family of Christians. They say we don't even believe in those things, and then now iNzuza comes, and now we are taken into under the water, and definitely you won't come back. And some of these things, when they are not done properly, you might even die. We have seen some people, even in my area, in one river this year, we lost about even over 4 of sangomas in the water. They drowned down in the water, and they disappeared for about 5 days. And the police were seeking them for so many days, seeking for them. After over 5 days to 6 days, they found them dead. And there could be a very big possibility that such people have been taken by iNzuza. They were supposed to be taken for initiation. But now, because now coming from the background of such people in our families, it becomes very difficult that such people will follow the rituals which are supposed to be done, so that the people everything will go well, will start the initiation will go well, and the people will come back. So now it becomes very difficult. That's why now we have got very rare circumstances of people who have been initiated under the water and come back alive. And we have got very, very few. And most of them have already died. You see, those people who have undergone such a circumstances. So it becomes very difficult. But we have got the people of iNzuza who are supposed to be initiating them. But now it becomes very difficult because of the circumstances that we are living under, you see, because those people are there, and now some of them have been even integrated among us. As I've said, that one of my grandfather married one of them, and I know one that used to stay in Swaziland. There is a river there, those who know Swaziland, that river, Mbabane River, it crosses, I think, used to cross it next to the police station and the St. Francis School, below St. Francis. And in that river, there was a hole. There was a big hole, that endless, that was not known where it's going. And there used to be another man there who used to come out from that river, from that hole in that same river. And that man, he used to appreciate maize so much. And that's why even up to now, people with iNzuza, they will love maize, to eating kobe, imbasha, and all the like. Those was one of the food. And that many, you would say, I've come here just for umbila or siwe, just to eat it. He used to live under the water, and he had his own family there. So he was part of those people and of iNzuza. Even he spoke several times, even in the SAP, the broadcasting station in Swaziland. He spoke several times, interviewed by Skayo Magongo. Skayo Magongo was still a broadcaster. He did interview that man who used to come out from there. He used to come when it's during summer, around the time of 89, during the time of 89, 90, yeah, early doors around this time. He used to come so frequent. I once saw him. That man, he was short, you see. So, and those are the...
So you've made me very curious, actually, because I used to go to, you made me very curious. I used to go to school around there. I used to pass there all the time to go to school, because I went to St. Francis Primary School.
Yeah.
So I would pass that river as well. So it just made me curious. You were just taking me back. Okay, it actually would be nice to go and try to find out. I'm going to do that. Try to find out what has happened to that boat, what has actually happened to the people that actually live there. Because for me, and I know for a whole lot of people, the idea of having people living underwater is really totally mind-boggling. And into is how then people now, but it was Sanjani iNzuza at this point, because there's very few people, iNzuza people, like you say, very few people who know how to translate iNzuza, and how also. Okay, first off, is it iNzuza or iNzuza?
iNzuza, Z-A. Yeah.
So it was iNzuza. How then also people now trust it, or how we can, if you have that calling, appease that spirit, that Zuza spirit, if there are no more people that can actually help you trust it in the way that it was originally done. And because also just I have thought the idea of having to live under water is very scary. Like you have actually said, you have not said anything actually that would encourage anyone who has this spirit. A lot of people, a lot of people prefer to just, okay, it's all born when you and I'm just going to die, I suppose, because one, it's difficult to find the people to help. Two, just the idea of living under the water. Three, you said that people go there and a lot of people do not come back. So it's a very scary. You know how we have spoken about Umzau and how Umzau is a difficult spirit, and how not just to trust, but just to go to harsh, because and once things done in a specific manner. iNzuza sounds to be so much worse than Umzau Ketla. And just please assist us in how, the viewers, in how people can actually deal or work with the spirit of iNzuza, if they have it, to get a better life, to just be okay, if they do not necessarily trust it, or not trust it the way that it was used to be trusted.
iNzuza, it's quite a great spirit. In fact, if you have iNzuza, it's sometimes you are chosen and you are fortunate. The challenge that we have is to find the right place for initiation, because definitely it's one of the greatest among the spirits of Ubungoma. iNzuza, it's one of the top. And that's why when you go to initiation, when some of Sangomas, they realize that you have got that spirit, they even become jealous, some of Bokobel. And they would even wish if there could be a way to take away that spirit, because that spirit, it's a bit superior. Even people with iNzuza, when umele umhlole, it might be a bit difficult to do that because the spirit, it's a bit higher, and that's why the signs are very strange. Some people, when they are sleeping, they feel very cold. They feel like there's someone cold next to their side, you see. And one of the terrible things is terrible headaches. Hey, you will have a very terrible headaches. You can go to any specialist there for a migraine whatsoever. That headache will never be healed until maybe you use some of the trees to sniff them for that are for the same iNzuza, and then or else you go to initiation then, because but you'll have terrible headaches, dreaming yourself in the wilderness, dreaming yourself in the river. You will also dream yourself under the water, dream yourself and seeing people under the water, dreaming big snakes and all the like, you see. But now the suffering are very terrible, because when you have got iNzuza and the things are not done properly, I'm telling you, you will lose everything. You are going to lose your friend. Employment, you lose it, because people of iNzuza are not supposed to be employed because they've got the kingship within them. So because they are supposed to work for themselves. And then I remember one day we went to Ufemba with someone with iNzuza, and this person has been looking for a job for a long time and very educated. And then one of the father, the head grandfather, came and said, if my daughter, you can find job, inkomo ingazala umuntu, you will never find employment in your life. When we have dedicated you to go for Butwasa and then heal people, that's all. You will never find employment. And obviously she has lost almost everything, you see, because you can lose so many things when you have got this spirit. But we do have people who can initiate those who have got this spirit, but it's very difficult to identify them, to find the right people who have got iNzuza, because most of the people, they keep on playing with them, because people, they won't tell you that they don't know. They will tell you, no, we know iNzuza. We know if we go yeah, we know iNzuza. Unless if, like in my case, I know a person, if he says he know a certain spirit and he's talking lies, I know how to identify a person who knows iNzuza and who doesn't know iNzuza. Because I know a question that the person I will ask, and when speaking with that person, with that Kobela, I will know what, no, this one, no. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. But now, unfortunately, as an initiate, you won't know. And the challenge is that the spirit won't show you the place for initiation, because your priority is supposed to go to be initiated in the river. But now, due to the circumstances we have now, you cannot go and be initiated there. So you need to go to those people, and those people, they know very well. There are certain muti, they will take you to the river. There are certain muti they will give you, and that muti will give you a link with the iNzuza. And then when you have got that link, even now, so that when you go to the river, the iNzuza spirit or the snake won't even take you, they won't bother you, because now they will see you that now this person has been initiated almost the way we want. That's why, as I've said, when you eat likobongo, it must be likobongo for the trees, for certain specific trees that comes from the water. The very same trees that are known by the very same spirit. Because in fact, for each and every spirit, the trees, the right trees are found where the people are. Yeah, where the people are, that's where you find the best. You see, and it's a fact, even for Mdawe, the best trees for Ikobongole Mdawe will find them in Mozambique. That's where you will find the best. That will the spirit, when they eat that one, the spirit will be satisfied. So there is a people who can initiate them, but it's a very big challenge. As I've said that, I feel pity because most of the people of iNzuza, they end up suffering and you can suffer until you die, and you can even go mad. And I've seen some, they even go mad. You can go mad. That headache can cause you that you go mad. You can even go blind. Sometimes you can be even hit by a stroke and become paralyzed. Even here in your waist, there are normally pains in your waist. It can stay here in your waist. You have got several pains in the waist, and it can cause that one of your side might end up not functioning very well, you see. So it becomes a headache. Yeah, I feel definitely. Yeah, Thokoza.
Abasesabi khetha abasesabi ama-viewers bathuke bamangele kangaka. Kanti kuthiwani la. Lalela Mkhulu, I want to actually I'm just going to add my experience here.
Yeah.
In this, what also is possible is that esikhathini listening, people will then come out bathi hey gobela wangendela phasi kwabanjani. Kanti when you get to your gobela's home, so ngena there should be an indication ukuthi ufike kahle ukuthi this is actually where you are supposed to twasa. A lot of people do not get that indication ukuthi you have actually arrived at the place that I'm supposed to get assisted, but they stay on because banedinkinga and they've committed to the process and they just want to get over the process. And it's been said ukuthi gobela bethu abayadiyoke in. Someone twasisa kahle yondawo, someone twasisa kahle umnguni wakho, labanye bakwendise prophet osapho kahle lalo basisithunywa. So kusaya kube ne kanti lama spirits maningi la bantwini. So khanza sikulolo kunye bakuthwasise kahle, kulolo kunye abakakuthwasisi. But also manthwasa ukhanza akuvamisa ukuthi ukhanza uthwasa uwedwana. Kulabanye bantu lo thwasa nabo bafowenu. Ukhanze ukuthi yena lenzunza nonke nithwasisiwe nonke niyathwasa la khaya, but inzunza yakhe yendeke kahle because also mainly one it's because it's the same kind of spirit, but it is not. I want to go back to the ancestors that our ancestors were to just ban sihlanganisa njani the spirit salonzunza nedloti lakho singakafika ethongweni idloti lakho nje ukuthi wena uhamba njani ngawe. So ukhanze ukuthi ke wena labanye abantu bafowenu beni bafowenu labanye bathwasa. No, you all went through or you all go through the same process, but lo munye indzawo wakhe wendeke kahle, lo munye inzunza yakhe ibe settled. Ufuna ukuyibuyisela ku individual lenzaba ukuthi lenzaba iphinde sale nangathi sifikile la khaya sizofuna sithu ukuthi lesikhathini lesiningi vele like you say emathwasa don't have much of a say makagobela because gobela are the all knowing and kulikhona nje kuhlalelana na baba wakho libala ukuthi cha mina lami idlodi lithi, but it is also imperative ukuthi ngokuthi kuthiwa libandla naye gobela wakho khona lapha aphethwe khona kumgcoka lothi mangabe akhona ukhona ukukhuluma naye gobela wakhe ukuthi yathi nginenkinga lenje mina ngikuphe lokhu naloku o mina bathi kimi angendeka so ungangeni utibala kuvuma kwenta tinto longakathunywa tona. Do you understand what I mean? Ukuthi bantu bayangena and kuba inkinga vele lokuthi we get to do kuphume lapha ku process yentwaso ungakatendi letinto bofuna utende wende letinto betifuna ukuthi gobela wakho lafuna ukuthi utende hayi letinto lothunywe tona. That is what also lokubanga inkinga because ngifuna nje lokuyela ukuthi labanye abantu batawuthwasa bathwasise lendlu bayethwase kahle, labanye ukhanza ukuthi khona lokushoda of the very same spirit. So it's a very tricky space, and it's a space in which you need to be listening to your ancestors. So goes ahead.
You know, when you're speaking like this, you remind me something. We have got someone that came to me, and that person has got the iNzuza spirit, and this person wanted direction. So I took this person to another place where bayayithwasisa iNzuza. And then I said, we are going to check emathambeni wekuthi it will be liyavuma yini idlozi lakho ukuthi ube la ekhaya. You see, you know what was great? This person, when we entered the place, lavele, before we even do anything, laqubuka idlozi, lavuka, hey laphakama idlozi, and when iphakamile idlozi, and then we had to even to brought igubhu simshayele, you see, and uma simshayela lo muntu, we started to shaya isinguni, hayi la idlozi lakhe la vele la ngafuni na ushaya isinguni la awubona ukuthi liyala. But when we hit indlela yeNzuza, yo lidlozi was over the moon. The person you could see naselivukile thi liyajabula, and in a way we didn't have to even check ukuthi lo muntu angathwasa in la ekhaya noma. But because we could see the lidlozi how ijabula kanye ngakhona, lali jabula, you know, the session now, lo muntu has come for ukuhlola, but it turned now kwaba another session. Sekumele kushawe igubhu sekuyadenswa kagidwa idlozi liyakhuluma, and now seliyayikhulumela lona liyasho lona athi hayi ngijabulile kufika la khaya, I'm happy, ngijabulile liyajabula. And then because somehow now, as what I want to say here, somehow now at your spirit you must feel, because you know there are people who go for initiation until baqede, and you ask them ukuthi lidlozi like la bhoboka yini, azange selibhoboka, because they are in a wrong place. Because uma idlozi lakho lingabhoboki, it means you are in a wrong place. You see, uma ngabe you are in a place la ikhona lidlozi lijabulela khona, limele libhoboke, and it won't be a struggle kulibhoboza lidlozi, because now we have got people who go for the whole initiation, lidlozi alizange labhoboka, and he's even given an improper name. That name, it doesn't come from the lidlozi, because lidlozi ilo lemane lisho likhulunyizo lize lisho lihlingibani sukaphi so that uthole igama lakho lekuthwasa. But now the people who won't even have they will just be given just a name at random, because what is happening now, the lidlozi was not happy, because now you will stay for 4 or 5 months at Petrwen, but you feel now yourself ukuthi lidlozi leli alikho happy, because when you come into that place, you must feel good. No, I'm in a right place, because you have got lidlozi. It must sense. But you come into the place and you think you can be initiated, and lidlozi is quiet, and you feel that your lidlozi go down. Even namapupo akho, they disappear. Most of the things they go down. Then, but still you want to continue being initiated in that place. You see, because you have got a spirit. You see, because even Kobela must listen to your spirit, must find out, must be a term moved by your spirit, mustn't always be one size fits all, because the spirit are not the same. Because at the same time, a place might have the Kobela might know how to initiate iNzuza, but that Kobela might still not be a right one for you. At the same time, might have everything that the Kobela, he qualifies, he can initiate iNzuza, but now still he or she is not the right one to initiate you. That's why sometimes you have to go and check Bokobela. Ukobela uyahambe uyomhlola, umphengule ihloleni kulabanye bogobe, abanye inyanga uhamba umhlole ukuthi emathambo athini ayavuma yini impande. Futhi ungamchecka mhlambe baze babe 3, because lo munye mhlambe angachecka, but uma umchecka from others babe 3, because lo munye angasho athi alivumi ngoba ufuna ukuthi uzothwasa la kuye. So at least babe bo 3, uhamba uchecka bogobela, uchecka ukuthi ikhona yini lempande. Kodwa nangabe nawe uthola ukuthi sewune idea emathambo, iyabonakala lamathanjeni ukuthi lidlozi liyavuma. lidlozi lijabulile uyakubonisa nena akawa-check akutshengisa ukuthi hayi lihala lidlozi hayi alivumi ukuthi ube la ekhaya vele ungahluphi kwekuthi ube la ekhaya lihala ukuthi la ekhaya yebo sinayo le mpande yakho le kumele ibe khona kodwa lidlozi lakho doesn't agree that when you be initiated in this home, which means you have to find another place. And when you have found the right place, the spirit within you will also agree. You will feel that now I'm in the right place. When you're in the right place, yeah, when you're in the right place, the spirit, I've seen when the lidlozi, when it's in the right place, you won't even struggle with shayla with it boboke. It won't be even a struggle. You know, once now you come to a time where you struggle with shayla lidlozi, but shayla, whether in shayla is in guni, as if vugi, in shayla is ndawas vugi, then you must know that no, this person is not in the right place. Yeah, because they people they will go throughout the whole initiating time, and a little it's quiet. You see, I've met several people say I've gone throughout the whole initiation period, but little is quiet. It means you are in the wrong place. Little it's not there. It's not there with you. And then we say, "When I know what to chigema tambo la, but don't feel umguni mhlamba kumahlale lapha." To show what in the place you are, we are not there. We are not there. So we can't support you because you are in the wrong place. We cannot do anything now to support you. So yeah.
To just bring it back to lapha ukuthi masithwasako makuthwaswa umnguni makuthwaswa sorry lapha makuthwaswa iNzuza khona uthi hey okay I'm going to speak about this experience of mine ukuthi mina nje yothwasa iNzuza asizange sigene ukuthi sasangena sayohlala eMandini azange sihambe siyohlala eMandini. So yofuna sibuye sikhulume lendaba yokuthi bekuthwasa lengaphasi kwalamandi ngoba that is the one scary thing. We did not umdawu ngawuparula emfuleni. Umdawu iNzuza athwasa eMandini elwandle. Yangena la lwandle. Kune whole process lendiwa khona lapho elwandle. But kuyohlala ngaphansi kwemandi. Akuzange kube ngiko kusihamba sesiyaba sesohlala phansi kwemandi ukuthi ngoba nalokuthi ngifuna ukuthi siphinde sibiyele kakhulu sigqile lokuthi le process ayifanani for all individuals. Wonke umuntu kufute ukuthi adi ukuthi akhone kulalela lidlodi lakhe mangabe kuliyala ukuthi kusho ukuthi lokhu akusingiko nakobela futhi akhone kulalela. You need to be able to communicate with your gobela and not go ahead with the process. Or if you can go ahead, go ahead, but what you're still going to have to do something to appease the so it's people we need to be able to, as we're teaching, we need to be able to come to make this whole thing relevant. To actually to be able to tell people ukuthi njengoba ukhona nje wena ukuchaza Mkhulu ukuthi bekunemuntu lo matiko lo bekagena ahlala kuphi we are siyafuthi ngalokho lama real life examples of situations that people have actually gone through. But okay, this is what actually happened with me, and it may have gone okay for me, it did not go okay for my form 4A2, and it did not go okay for, and you find what we all were doing the same thing. But there were extra things that were done with you or that you did for yourself. Sometimes we are corner who, when you are now in that right situation, so we are not right. Lo we are tigo nala makobongo latingeka uleli good lestingeka nale timpanzi letingeka uthwasisa leso spirit lesi. you are also able to get messages on your own of the extra things that you actually need to do to appease lelo doti lelo. So mandifikile lonke lapha elwandle, these things angeke kufanane naleti kutaba khona lelo kufana nako, but leti kwethi ngeke kufanane leti tawendiwa lapho. Nawe lo tutaweni lo tati experience wena kune bafowenu. Thokoza ke.
Yeah, Thokoza, because obviously when people are initiated, mostly the direction needs to come from their own spirit, and the Gobela must be able to direct what the spirit says. And again, it's not everyone that is going to stay under the water. You can be well initiated for iNzuza and still yet you have not stayed under the water. But obviously, some of the things, they will be down in the river, you see, and in rivers where they know that even most probably the iNzuza is there within that river, you see. So it won't be one size fits all. It will be different. But again, we need to know that even a person who has been initiated under the water, when that person comes back from the water with a snake, will still need Gobela to help that person in order to go forward. If the person cannot find a right Gobela, will still have a problem. It doesn't mean that because you have been under the water, then it means now you don't need Gobela. I know someone who was under the water and then did not go get a right Gobela. That Gobela didn't do a right thing. And what happened after that person, the iNzuza took that person got mad and took that person under the bus, and the person passed away because the things were not done properly. So some people, they will think that when now you are under the water, then it means now you don't need Gobela. You will still need Gobela, even if you have been initiated under the water. There are some processes that needs to be done to you even after you have been under the water. You see, one of the places in Babane, Manjolo, yeah, Manjolo has got iNzuza. And with the help of the Mnisiclane, you can go and be initiated there. And then, because under that water, there are also the people of iNzuza. Under that very, very same area, at Manjolo, the people of iNzuza, they are there, and they are related with the Mnisiclane. Most of them, see, they are related with the Mnisiclane. So, but the most important thing is that even after you have come in that, but you will still need Gobela. But you know, people with iNzuza, again, as I've said, that it's a blessing. I know that people sometimes they fear. You know, most of the people I know who have got iNzuza, and it has been done very well, initiated well, they don't work and they don't lack anything. They are well fed. iNzuza will take a good care. It's same like Umdao. Umdao will take a good care. You won't go hungry. All that I know, we have got that. Yeah, we have got that spirit will take a good care of you. You won't go hungry. You will build your own home. You will have your own things. You will have everything. You won't go hungry with that. You know, I would guarantee with you. Eh? No, after all, you have got a powerful spirit. Why must you be poor with a powerful spirit? Why must you be poor? Because such spirits, they don't want you to be under. You are a king. It's a kingship. It's a kingship. So why must you live in poverty with such a spirit? This is not a spirit of poverty at the end of the day. When you have been given this, it's a choice. You know, I know people with iNzuza, some they say, why me? Why me? Why me? No, it's a blessing. You are chosen. You are chosen for royalty. The spirit is a spirit that wants to empower you, because once you do all the things very well, I'm telling you, you won't lack anything. You know, you can see like ukoko le same orange farm. Mm-hmm. You know, Coco, you can see she doesn't lack anything. she's got her own farm. You can say she has got everything. You just see, she just she doesn't lack anything. You see, and I know some of them that I know even in Mpumalanga that I work with. Those people within iNzuza, they lack nothing, because this is a great calling.
Please, just briefly, how do people with iNzuza spirit, the healers with iNzuza, how do they heal? But who throw bones, or how do they heal? Just briefly, because there are strong points and the difference to other spirits in the manner in which they heal.
They use those you know, in healing, when you're talking about the roots, even when now it comes to healing, we have got different roots. There are people who know the roots of the iNzuza. There's the roots for Abandawe, there's roots for Umguni, and we use those trees. But to be honest with you, the trees for iNzuza, those are very, very powerful muti. And most of the people for Umguni, they femba, they don't use bone. Umguni now normally will I'm saying iNzuza will also need, if we have done it very well, most probably you will femba people. You won't do like Umguni for bones and all the like, because Umguni iNzuza in some others will have similarities, like the Umdawe in the way they work. Though they also have different types of trees. That's why even they've got their own kobong, they've got their own lishambo, they've got their own sifuto, but most common for them, if you have got iNzuza, you must never part with a litumane. Litumane must always be with you, because that's one of the things that iNzuza like. You see, yeah, we know that they like injeti, ipalo, even there's a type of here we call it isisampa. It's very rare. No, it's a very rare to see that one. Even in shops, you might not see that one. I've never seen, to be honest with you, I've never seen anyone around Joburg wearing that one. It's very rare. Maybe one day I will find a picture corner and send you that picture. Those are one of the greatest for iNzuza. They palu injeti isisampo. Those are the one of the greatest. But this sample, it's a very rare to find that one. It's very, very rare. Yeah, that one is very rare. It's different the way.
I think I will show a sample in the next lesson. We need to finalize this, because we need to get into the dreams as well. What are the dreams? What are the indicators as well? What else will indicate that? So we're going to have to go through a number of this. We'll do at the finale of the season, that we will go through the spirits and see and do questions and directly answer the questions that have been posed. It's mining from Abachazell. Okay, it's mining is easy. Yes, it's the red clay. It is the red clay.
The challenge when you go to, I can take guarantee to it now, go to Faraday and find and get Litumane, they will give you Libov. When you say Litumane, I've seen people say go and get Litumane, then they show me and say this is Litumane. No, this is Libov. It's not Litumane. And Litumane is far more powerful than Libov, and it can do so many things. It can even be Impindamshai on its own. And it also helps. It also even helps in that headache. When you have got that in-carrying headache, Litumane can sometimes also help you. I've seen people where we give them Litumane, that headache for iNzuza is being cured. Then they are free from that continuous headache. So, But the thing, it's very rare to find it. I've tried. Whenever you go to all these places, multi shop, you say you wanted to money, they just give you gold. Now they give you gold.
They would be very happy to get to buy it from us. I've had so many requests because now and then they actually then look at it and then we make them understand the difference. So it's very widespread ekhaya. So bangaba nemuntu lokhona ukuthola Mkhulu bantu batokhona kusizakala. Iyaphela Mkhulu isikhathi sethu ngicela uvalelise.
Yeah, Gogo, iDumane is very important for umuntu lonenzuza. Umuntu onenzuza it must not stay without iDumane. Very, very important for them that they must always have iDumane. No, angivalelise nami emakhaya kinonke bogogo bomkhulu makhehla netalukati nonke bo tindlondlo tonke emakhaya ngithi thokozani nonke ndawuwe hayi ungathi nonke ngahamba kahle kakhulu kinonke nelabanenzuza ngihlala ngimvela buhlungu kakhulu inhliziyo yami ibhlungu ngani ngoba hayi idlalwa ngani kakhulu hayi kodwa ngiyathemba ukuthi konke kutawulunga thokozani makhehla nebogogo ndawuwe
thokoza Mkhulu manje Mkhulu kuhamba manje Mkhulu just briefly ngicela ubalayele ukuthi yini lento abakhombisa ama indicators ukuthi lento angenda ukuthi akukhona kubuka ukuthi inzunza lemphethe.
Yeah, njoba ngishilo ukuthi umuntu onenzuza esikhathi esiningi uba ne-continuous headache. One of the thing uvama uba nema-pain ikhala lube buhlungu lesi sikhathi isisu sakhe sigcwala umoya lesi sikhathi abe neyibhobo ungathi uba neyibhobo la kuye la and then uvama ukuthi ebusuku nakalele eve kubanza umtimba wakhe ubanza nje angathi naye ukuthi ubanziswa yini ungathi kunemuntu lolelela eceleni kanti kusuke kungile spirit sale nyoka simvakashele uyabona ungathi ulele nemuntu eceleni kanti kodwa lo banza ngoba inyoka ngithi yabanza vele inyoka iyabanza so kuba naloko and umuntu wakhona uvama ukuphupha ahambe igangeni azula angathi uzula uyakuphi uyophupha kimifula aphuphe inyoka aphuphe ahleli nangaphansi kwemanzi kuyavama kakhulu ukuthi aphuphe ahleli ngephansi kwemanzi ngoba kusuke kuyi-indication ukuthi uyafuneka le ephansi kwemanzi ngeke uhlale ungayiphuphi ngephansi kwemanzi ngoba kusuke utshelwa lokuthi uyafuneka and umuntu wakhona unekungathi umcondo ufuna kuhamba sometimes because unema-sound lawo evako unengathi khona lokummemetako lokumbitako kuyakhuluma kuyambita ungathi uva nema-voice and ebusuku uyavama kuphelelwa buthongo athi nakalele ebuthongo kuphele nje avuke nje and esikhathi lesiningi buphela ngesikhathi esi-1 kuthola ukuthi naphela nga-4 ekuseni or kuphela nga-3 buphela ngalo 3 because kusuke kungilokuthi kufuna ahambe ngoba kuye ngathi lesi sikhathi angathi iva ngathi angagijima nje abaleka angathi ukuthi ugijima uyaphi ngoba ngile calling iyabizeka ukuthi hey uyafuneka wena le in the river yabo bese ke sekuba ngilethi inhlupheko ke kuphele yonke into futhi ngeke azashade vele nekushada uma ngalungisa inzuza yakhe umshado uyaphela nama ngashada uyadivorce nema relationship cannot last at all ma relationship akonke ayaphela phelele emoyeni nje angathi nene ukuthi labantu baphelelwa yini kuba ungathi unesicitho kani lesi sikhathi akana sicitho iyo lenzuza icosha abantu nesihlobo takhe athi mthanzi sisi kahle nasekuhlobeni uthanda ungathi angahlala yedwa lesi sikhathi ungathi nje angaphuma kubantu ahlale yedwana lesi sikhathi avashaya livalo angathi ushaya livalo lani uyabona nje impilo yakhe nje kuba yedwa lesi sikhathi atufune nje wathi ngahlalela nje ngi1 ngingakhulumi namuntu nje ngalethi sikhathi so into lethi njalo nje gogo ledivama kutshengisa ukuthi lo muntu lona hayi ikhona yona inzuza la kuye kuba njalo gogo
there's another thing that I think we have time that we can just put in here would be how do we approach the rivers and the seas in order not to offend those spirits, the water spirits, the iNzuza spirit. But just for instance, if we are going to be conducting rituals, or umuntu tihambela yedwana kumele vele bayakumbita ukuthi okay, go to the river, go to the river. Baba emfuleni, how do they approach it to make sure ukuthi aba offendi ama-water spirits, but okhona kwenda labafuna kukwenda and get the results that they need from the rituals that they're doing at the river?
Kuba right lokho ukuthi badle le mithi yakhona leona le mithi iNzuza. It becomes very good ukuthi babe bantu labafamiliar ukuthi badle le mithi yasemanzini. And nabadla le mithi yasemanzini ibenza ukuthi babe munye, babe na more one connection with the spirit of the water. And when they come to the spirit of the water, it won't do anything to them because they don't lack anything. It's within their blood. It's living within their blood. When it's living within their blood, it's very rare. That's why so we are now initiation uzugqatshwe negqatshwa ngayo le mithi, so that the mithi ikulinka, so that there's always a connection between you and the umnumzane and the iNzuza there, so that when there's there, you won't have any problem. Ukuthi se uhambe emanzi uthathwe yini. And now before bekungekho so common ukuthi banyanga hambe nemanzi thathwe yini, because they used to understand ukuthi kunemithi lekumele lesi sikhathi before uya labantu labo bakhothisa le mithi nje labantu bakho bakhothisa le mithi bathi khotha bakhothe le mithi bakhotha le mithi, so that uyabalinka, then sebaye emanzini bakhothakothile labantu, then nasibafika lena akukho lokuzokwenzeka phakathi kwabo. Yeah.
It's the fear element that sort of keeps coming up. Putting the band flag with water spirits, but they're scared of the water. How then does that work? And it's unfortunate that you need to actually overcome the fear and be able to go and do the rituals that you need to do. Because no one can do it for you. It has to be done by yourself and with the assistance of whoever it is that is assisting. Thokoza Khehla, I
interrupt briefly. You must make sure you go with someone who will understand we are in the river, because that fear sometimes the indication of which you might go, you might be taken. So you need to go with someone who really understands iNzuza. You go to the river, because if you go with someone who's taking chances and you have got that fear, probably it's an indication that you might not come back. Yeah. Yeah, as it happens. Yeah, Thokoza. Yeah.
It's also a big responsibility for Kokobela and healers who actually take people to the river. So it's also now just leave it.
Because you must trust the person you go with, who must know the story. That's why you cannot do that on your own. You will always need someone to do it. You can't do that on your own.
So
yeah.
Yeah. Even the healers, you know, you take the support of this angoma. Nihambe nani nibe babili bebatshwana. Uhambe ke niwe ndomfane bantu sebentu wakhe. Thokozani Makhehla Mkhulu, siyabonga kakhulu Mkhulu. Hayi bese sivalelisile. Ngikhumbule ukuthi mase isikhathi esiphelela ngakhumbula ukuthi sijubile sacalela phansi ngenza bayebhethi.
Yeah.
Thokoza Mkhulu.
Yeah.
Mkhulu ngale topic.
Okay, no Thokozani gogo ndawuwe siyabonga kakhulu. Makube kuhle konke emakhaya. Thokozani nonke ndawuwe.
What I'm going to do is when we put up the YouTube video on the YouTube channel of this lesson, we're going to have Mkhulu's numbers up there. Please guys, do not abuse Mkhulu's numbers and use it for the work that he is actually here sharing with us. So his numbers, his content will be available. Somebody asked about Mkhulu's writings. Mkhulu writes a lot on Facebook. He will write pages and pages of posts for this hunting spirit senior. So we're also going to put his Facebook handle onto the YouTube video. So go on there, find Mkhulu's things. there is no books. There's no books yet. We are working on books. There are no books yet, but there are a lot of writings on his Facebook page. Thokozani Makihla Makhulu. Siyabonga kakhulu ukujoyina. Sibongile kakhulu nakuwe Mkhulu. So we'll catch up after this session. Thokoza ke.
Thokoza ndawuwe go.
Ndawuwe. Sibongile kakhulu ukujoyina emakhaya. Niyeva ukuthi we actually are talking about a lot of stuff that happened in Swaziland, things that we have experienced in Swaziland, and it's been giving me that, it explains to me the drive that I've been wanting to go back home. Was a clearly lockdown that we initially wanted to go record in the Eastern Cape. That's what we're going to go and do. And the instruction I got was that, how are you going to go to the Xhosa? When you have not gone to learn to do the kayaking, and do the research there and learn those things. So after the lockdown, we will be bringing you all this. We will spend some time in Swaziland, and we will be bringing you all of these things that we're talking about. I'm hoping to be able to find the iNzuza family that he is speaking of, that lived under that river. The river very well known. There's the Manjolo Dam that he spoke of in the Mnisi clan. I actually mentioned it in last week's lesson, just trying to find out from Mkhulu if he had heard about it, but he's not Swati, so he hadn't. And Mkhulu, without quoting, without any asking, he actually brought it up, Mkhulu Silindza. And it's a dam that no one can approach except for the Mnisi clan. Nobody leaves that space alive. We will try and we'll get footage from there and see what actually happened. So yeah, let's live and learn and I know the water spirit space is very scary, but it is a beautiful space as well, nonetheless, when things are actually done correctly. There's people who are actually also just by the nature of their ancestors are just people of the water, and there's no initiation of yours that can actually be done without you going through that process. So the fear needs to be overcome at some point to get things to be okay. Thokozani Makihla Makhulu, siyabonga kakhulu ukuthi ndonto ukusijoyina. We will meet again next week. We will let you know if it's going to be on Saturday or on Sunday. Bear with us as we also we actually have confirmed the teacher for next week Saturday, who is going to be Mkhulu Manzolwandle. Thokozani ndonto dinhle. Bye bye.